I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Wait. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. How are you guys? I'm Dodi Lena, and this is Dodi's page. It's Sunday. I don't know the date. Might be the 11th, 10th, 11th. I don't know. Coffee. First of all, drink some coffee. Hey, and I got the red stuff too. See, red matches my top. Red, red. How are you, spiritual? How are you? I'm doing fine. My little Abigail's, she's hanging in there. That's all I can say is I'm just giving her her medicine. She's almost out, but I gotta go get her prescription filled. Otherwise, she's out and she will be in a lot of pain. But anyway, I just thought I'd get on live for a little bit. I'm drinking coffee. I got stuff to do in my truck. And I'm doing okay. That's good. I'm glad you're doing okay, Spirit. No, I don't know if you know that my Abigail almost died. She has like cancer in her stomach. So I almost lost her already. So she's hanging on right now. And she lost all her body fat and her stomach is just really round. But her stomach is starting to go down. And she's barely eating. At least she's eating, but she's barely eating. Anyway, let me put this right there so that I've got to hold it with my hand. I'm in my semi, like always. Excuse me. Yeah, we've been together since she was 6 months old, 6 weeks old. And she's 14 years old now. She'll be 15 come February. That's her birthday. So she's almost 15 years old. So, wow. She's a senior citizen, so I gotta take care of her. She's very fragile now. And very jealous. She still don't let other dogs get near me. And she's picky. You don't want this, you don't want this. She wants things her way. And also stubborn. You love my cup? Hi, Alan. How are you doing? Yeah, I have actually, with this cup, this is the only red one I have. Because the same style is metal. But it's also, I don't know if you can see like there, it's like broken. I don't know how I did that, but that just happened just like last week. Um, but I have these, except they're turquoise. They're not red. This is the only red one, and the turquoise ones I have. I have the whole set. I have the plates, the pitchers, the cups, and I forgot what else I have. I have a bunch of dishes. I'm in my truck. She's a good dog and very good protector. Yeah. Hi, Jeremy. Hey, how's your day going? It's going okay, actually. Let me show you. I'm in Minnesota. It's starting to rain, and I'm at my yard in Minnesota. The company yard, that is. Ellen, you're first. You're the first one. Well, you're not the first one, but you're number one in the race. I'm doing good. I hope you're doing good as well. That's the only red one I've ever seen. Yes, I know. I've got many blue ones. Yeah, I've seen the blue ones, and those were like too common, you know. And I thought, because I like the blue ones, but I saw this. This was the very first one I got, and then I saw where they were from. Don't have it on the bottom, but you know, when you buy it, it has a little sticker, and so I looked that company up, and I ordered me some. They're like, I guess, like I said, they're like turquoise, and they got three colors: the blue, the red, and the turquoise. And I got the turquoise ones. But yes, I've got many blue ones. Just I like. It looks authentic. Yeah, and sure, and for sure, I've never seen a red one. Thing is, if I put this, so you can't put it in the microwave, but I could put it in my air fryer, because the air fryer heats it like like a stove would. And I mean, when it heats it, oh my goodness, this thing gets like poof. I think that's how that broke right there, because I hardly ever heated it up, but just a few days ago I heated it up like that, and I think that's because it's right where you drink, you know. So I gotta drink it. I can drink it right there because it's not broken, but it's broken right there. But even that gives it character, you know. And Contador Hilton Princess. Hola. You're number 3. Hi. Hi, Princess. And Antoine Emmanuel. Hello. I was Joanne of Arc in my former life. Really? That's good. You know? Hey, if I believe that, I believe, well, I'm a warrior of light, and we do have many, 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 many lives. So I don't know if you want to give her credit, but I believe you were just in a different form. I don't know. I don't know how that works. Where well, I was somebody famous, and like because there's a guy, and not just one, but there's this one guy that I've seen. He claims he was Joseph. Oh no, no, no. John the Baptist. And he's all happy about it, and like, yeah. And I thought to myself, um, if you're John the Baptist, why are you, you know, mentioning it? Like, I'm not trying to be or nothing, but it's like, it's very hard to explain. You have you, so Why are you giving yourself, so, you know, your credit to somebody else, your life, your soul credit to somebody else? You know what I mean? And I thought, that just don't sound right. But, you know, you say you're Joan of Arc. Well, I believe, Emmanuel, that you're you. And, you know, if we were famous people, you know, great. Chuck one up on the list, you know what I mean? But I believe you're you. And whoever you are, you're Antoine right now. That's Antoine. You know what I mean? So I don't need Joan of Arc to know Joan of Arc. I'm honored to know Antoine. That's what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? I hope you understand. I'm not trying to insult you by any means. If you're proud of that, awesome. That's you. You know, that's Antoine. You know. Anyway, Ellen, dine you in a big rig. Dine me in a big rig. Much respect. Oh, thank you. Actually, watch, there's this guy there. He's in, hold on, let me put my coffee down. See that truck, that little Toyota right there? He's in the building. And we stayed talking last night because that's our break room. And see, this is our yard that I'm in. I'm in Minnesota. See, there's other trailers and just trailers. Hardly any drivers are here. Although there's a few drivers parked next to me. And that guy in that car, he's parked in the back. That's where he usually parks. And he parks his car here too. And he's like me, he lives in the truck. But he wants to buy my truck. Last night he was really, almost had me selling it to him last night. He says, I want to buy your truck. But, I told him I need to fix it up a little bit. He says, no, I'll buy it as is, I want to get this truck reupholstered. It's a 379 Peterbilt. Let me see, hold on. There. It's a 379 Peterbilt, and this is my dash. And I'm just going to show you that part. Because the back part is a mess. It's been doing laundry. I haven't put my nothing back yet. But I'm going to be selling it because just not yet. Not yet. Like, hold on, people. I still have some stuff to put, like, up there, this part up there. It's black, and it'll be like that texture, you see it? That's what it is. See, and I'm starting to do the upholstery like that and it's really beautiful. So the whole instrument of the dash right here, instead of it being brown, it's going to be like that. It's going to be that kind of fabric material. But I got it. I just gotta get it done. And instead, I'm talking to you guys. So you guys are stopping me from work done. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I got to take everything apart and, resurface it. I got to buy me the right glue for it because it's material. So I'll just put that material on and then put everything back together. But I got to fix my plugs first. So I'll be, no, it's raining. It's cold up here. That's the thing. It's hard to work when it's cold, up here in Minnesota. Anyway, thank you, Ellen. I've been driving 35 years, so I finally got the truck I want. So many people want it, and when I got it, it didn't look this nice. It was a piece of crap when I got it, and I fixed it up. In fact, like my hood ornament there, that's my trophy, I call it. I got a whole brand new grill, everything. I got to buy me another new bumper because that one's all bent up. And plus I got backlights, but I got to put, before I put the backlights, I need to put the fenders. So I got to buy the fenders, and then I can put all the backlights. And that way it'll look, because I put the lights right now, it's just not going to look right at all with the mud flaps and everything. Because the fenders with the fenders I'm putting, they go around the tire and they go like really low. You've seen those? That's what I'm putting on this truck. So I'm going to have to buy one by one. But I got to build up my income so that if this truck breaks, I got enough to pay for it. So it's going to take a little time. Anyway, oops. I meant, dang you. And the big rig, much respect. But yeah, thank you, Alan. Yeah, I got it. I like the red. I take pride in being different. I've got my blue ones from my grandparents. Oh, really? Yeah. I like red. In fact, I'm even wearing red today. And black. Black pants. I don't know if you can see them, but I'll be changing this because I got to work on my bumper on my trailer. I got to drill holes in it and then and this is through the metal. So I got to drill the holes and then bolt it. Basically, that's it. And then later I'm going to paint it black. My bumper, it's all going to be black back there. Ellen, have a blessed day, beautiful. I got to set this phone down for a bit and go enjoy some nature. Right on. Peace and love to everyone and everything. Thanks. Thank you, Ellen. Thank you. You have a great day too. Thank you, Ellen. And I'll give you a little surprise there. So next time you come back, you'll know. And Kesley. Oh, wait. Kelsey. I'm sorry, Kesley. Hi, Kelsey. How are you? And yeah, I think those are hands, right? And then you're in second place, and then there's seventh. Hi, seventh. Is it true that if you're an owner operator, you aren't regulated as much, and your CDL isn't threatened as much? Well, look at it this way. Once you're an owner operator, what it is you own your own equipment, so you get to make the call. You can, if they want to send you someplace that they would normally send their employees, say you're like, I'm contracted to D&E, which they sold out to a different company, so really it's not D&E anymore, and it's like a different ball game now. So those people, they want to try to take my title all the time. If I break down, they want collateral. Okay, you got a truck, and they're licking their chops like, yes, you don't pay it, I'm taking the truck. You know what I mean? And there's guys that have lost their truck because of that. And that happens a lot. And that's why when you're an owner-operator, you gotta have backup. You gotta have, you gotta be smart and see, because I make enough money where I can just go chrome the whole thing out right now. You know what I mean? But let's say I go and put me some chrome pipes. Go and put me a new chrome bumper. Go and, put me the chrome fenders I want. You know, that probably cost like about a good $8,000 to $10,000. And I'm driving all nice and shiny and chrome, and then my truck breaks down, and that would cost maybe $3,000. And what's beeping? I don't know. Is there something beeping? Not here. So that would cost me $3,000 or $4,000. They would want, well, you're going to stay broke, looking good, but you need to pay for all that stuff and uh, give me your title and I'll help you. That's so it's not a threat. It's just the way they run their business. With D&E, it wasn't like that. The D&E was a small mom and pop company. They would go out and they would, oh, your truck broke down. Okay, we'll just take it out of your check and you keep it going. You know what I mean? They wouldn't threaten you to try to take your equipment away. This company I'm working now, I feel I'm not. That's what me and that guy were talking last night too. Um, I feel I'm out here alone without a backup. Because my mechanics, both of them are gone. Well, the managers, I mean, both of them are gone. And one they fired, and the other one he says I give up, I left. But you know, if I had a flat tire or something happened to my truck that I needed some advice or something, where I had to pay and stuff, you know what I mean? Like my radiator went out one time. On the road, they wanted to charge me $4,000. The mechanics that were here, the managers, they told me, if you can get it back up here to Minnesota. I was in Pennsylvania. If you can bring it back here to, get it back here to Pennsylvania, out to Minnesota, I'll, you know, it'll cost $1,600 instead of 4,000. That's the kind of people they were. Now, all that's gone because they used to take care of me. And now, like I said, they see what you got and they want it. They want it. The first chance they get, first vulnerability you show, and that goes with any business. So being an owner operator, you have to have knowledge and not just you get a big check, you don't just blow it. You put it away and you save, and then you got the fuel prices, the brokers, the tolls, all this that are constantly sucking the money out. Not to mention the wear and tear of the truck, new tires, new brakes, stuff like that. So it's a different kind of game, but it's a business is what it is. But excuse me, being an owner operator, I love it. It's really cool. I really like it. Um, I wanna, or I don't want to be over the road anymore. I just want to be more local, more regional, where I can go home more often. Because with this company, me and some of the other drivers, we live in the truck because we're never home. We're just always going. And it's hard to have a relationship like that too. I don't know what's beeping. I don't know. Seventh, how can someone take your truck if you paid for it? Um, okay, let's say you own your truck, right? Uh, it doesn't even have to be a semi. Let's say a pickup truck, a dually, like which I have a dually too. That's my backup. If say you have a dually and you have it, you know, you bought your trailer too, so they're both under your name. You have the title, whether you're still making payments or not. But in this case, we'll say you have the title for it. Once you get the title, it's yours, right? It's signed under your name. You pay for everything, whether you got what do you call it, warranty or not. You know, it's yours. So if you want to sell it, if you want to paint it, whatever, right? Thing is, you're working for someone. Say you start working for this lumber company, and you know you're taking products for that company to their customers. So once you do that, and let's say you're on the load and your truck breaks down where you need a whole new transmission, but you're not quite making enough money to pay for the whole entire transmission. Okay? So you ask the company you're working for, you know, can you help me fix my truck so I can keep doing my job? They say, sure, I need some collateral. So the collateral you have is the equipment itself. Okay, so you sign a contract, you know, that if you don't pay for the repair bill that they're paying, uh, you know, they can repossess it. Okay, but okay, let's say it's $3,000. Okay, so you're working and you're not quite done with that $3,000 yet, paying it off, I mean. And your truck's running, but it breaks down again. And this time it costs you you know, maybe the engine blows or something. Now it's going to cost you $5,000 to $10,000, and you're like, oh no, you know, like uh, I can get it fixed for $2,000 if I can get it to my mechanic, but I'm in the middle of the road and I need help again. You go to your company again and tell her, you know, I need a new engine. Well, you haven't paid the $3,000 complete yet, but we'll tack this on. And so now maybe you paid $2,000 of the first loan. Now you have, you know, a bill of uh, 10 plus another two, so that's $12,000 you owe me, and you know you owe the company. So basically, the truck basically isn't yours anymore, you know, because you're working to pay off the loan that you signed the contract to, and say $12,000, you can't just all of a sudden whip it out like that. So you got to work, you got to build it up, and let's say 6 months later down the road, you know, you're down to $2,000 or $3,000 of paying off that bill. You only have 2,000 left, and you know you get in a wreck or something, and it needs, you know, the insurance isn't going to quite cover everything, and like okay, the car insurance will give you so much, but you still need so much more to get it fixed for DOT inspections. Otherwise, you can't work. Well, now you don't have that money. And they're saying, well, you know, the company's going to say, I can't just keep giving you money on this truck that keeps breaking down or something happens. So you think, you know, like, oh, great, you know, now what am I going to do now? Well, what happens is um, they just end up repossessing the truck because they're not going to, they will fix it, but now that truck is theirs now, you know, and whether it's drivable or not, say it's not drivable, and they forced to sell it, as salvage, they're getting it. You're not getting a penny. And even though the title was still in your name, you kind of signed it over to them to do whatever needs to be done to get the bill paid. Now, you lost a truck, and that's how it works. I had a friend of mine. He had an old Freightliner. It was a Coronado, really nice truck, and he lived out of Phoenix, and because I live in New Mexico, so we're kind of close. We're always going to the same areas and stuff. He used to work here. One day I came up here, I drove up here, and I saw his truck. I thought, oh, good, he's here. I'm not going to mention his name, but I went and looked, and his truck was empty. Everything, basically he had lost his truck because of something happened. I'm sure he didn't quit because that was his truck. And if he would have quit, he would have taken his equipment home. But, it was sad. I don't know how to get in touch with him or nothing. But there's so many people that are leaving this company because of that. Because what it used to be before, it was a mom and pop company that built it up. And when you needed help, they were there, and they weren't going to threaten you. They were going to help you so that you can succeed. This company that we work for now, I believe a lot of corporate companies are like this. If the math doesn't work for them, you're screwed. You know what I mean? It's like, well, that's what it says here on the paperwork. You gotta, it's there in black and white. You owe me so much, and oh, you don't have that? Okay, well then it's mine. Not what it used to be. Like if your truck was down, they would offer you like, well, your truck keeps breaking down. Why don't we do this? We'll help you sell the truck, and you can buy a new truck. And you can buy it. We'll help you get into a new truck. It'll come out of your check, the down payment, and then once the down payment's done, then you can sign the papers, and you got the truck for yourself, and you can start paying for the truck every week. Like I said, that's how it used to be. That's how I bought this truck. Because when I bought this truck, so the guy found it for me too. I told him I wanted, because I asked him, I want to be an owner operator. I didn't want to be a company anymore. And he says, well, what kind of truck you want? I told him 379 Peterbilt. That came out like instantly. It was like, yeah, I've always loved these trucks. I was always big on Kenworths. I drove a Kenworth for like 10 or 12 years. Thing is, I love Kenworths too, but I've always wanted this style. So I'm thinking, when he asked me that, it just like, yeah, I want 379 Peterbilt. And so he says, all right, well, give me some time and, I'll see what I can do. And in the meantime, I was driving a company for like 3 or 4 months. And they wanted to put me in a company truck, one of these new trucks, And I thought, no, it's not really what I want. So I asked him, I was parked right where that truck is right there. Watch. See that truck right there? I parked I parked in front of that third bay, or, in front of the bays. And this truck was sitting right there like that truck was. This truck. And I told him, well, I'm just going to leave. I was, and he told me, well, I asked him, well, who is that black Peterbilt right there? He turned around and he says, here's the keys. It's yours if you want it. Drive it, see if you want it, and if you do, you can buy it, and we'll just work it out like that. So I got in it. I mean, it was beaten up. They beat the heck out of this truck. Thing is, once I started fixing it up, the guy who used to drive it, I ran into him. He wanted it back. I told him, oh, you're not touching this truck. Like, this truck doesn't want you, But anyway, what I did, I just bought it. And see, that's how they were. Now, all that's gone. But anyway, seventh, what'd you say? Those cards I was talking to you about are going up in value, and people are complaining about the companies not keeping up with the printing. Really? Wow. I'm going to have to, because I can't put my card number on my phone. Because if I do that, all these other apps and all these other things will just start taking the money out like they were before. So I'm not going to do that again. So if I got to figure out a way to get you money. If you have on your website or whatever, I guess it would be PayPal or something. If you have that, a way so I can go in and buy it, you'd have to set up your own little counter, your own little cash register, so that I can go in and it's like you're the store, I'm going into your store. Because if I put things up in my phone, my card number, my bank card number on my phone, and it just sucks up my money. I'm not doing that again. I lost a lot of money because of that, and I can't do that. So we gotta figure it out. Okay, seventh, and I'll get you some cards. I'll get some cards from you. Buying cards. Yeah, I told seventh. He sells cards. I don't know if you knew, Spiritual, that check out his website. And what they're Pokemon cards? They're collectors. They're collector items. So they're real cool. Check them out. And yeah, you guys connect. Oh, cool. What kind of cards? There you go, seventh. You can feel free to explain yourself. Explain yourself. You have some explaining to do, Lucy. But yeah, I just gotta be able to go over there and get the cards and not through I'm not putting my numbers on this phone. I've done it before. In fact, my storage, this is already the third month. They don't answer the phone. And I haven't paid them in 3 months. It's my storage where my Harley's at. And I'm like, hey, I call them, give me a call. I need to talk to you because I changed my number on my card and that's not working. So, and they don't return my calls, they don't answer. All I get is a recording. At the same time, they're not getting paid for the storage that I'm renting from them. That doesn't make sense. It's like I'm trying to give them money, but they don't want it. So, really, I'm thinking I'm just going to take my Harley and everything out of there because you're going to try to lock it up and say I'm not paying it. I'm trying. But anyway, Spiritual, I've been seeing I've been sitting here listening and making sure everything's going smoothly. Then I hear the word cards echo through my. Like I said, check out. You can do it. Uh, I've done it before. Just press on SGR 7th. Press on that, okay? On your phone. If you have an iPhone, I don't know how it works with the other type of phone, but if you press on it, it'll ask you, visit website. So go to his channel, right? And you can go to his channel and check out his videos and stuff, and you can talk to him there like that too. So check it out, spiritual, you know. And you love Pokemon cards? There you go. There you go. I collect Pokemon and random stuff. There you go. Yeah, I got to figure out a way to buy it from you, okay? Without the phone thingy. So let me know whether send me an address or something, and I'll send you a check, you know, uh, something like that. Okay, what people don't use checks anymore. I haven't used a check in about 10, 15 years. Like, it's not, what's a check? I'll send you a payment, let me put it that way. But I'm not doing it through the phone, okay? I don't want to get ripped off by other hackers trying to, take my money. But, spiritual, could you do it on a computer if you have one? Um, I don't know. With my phone, I'm not on a computer, so I don't know. uh, I have a computer. I don't really like it because I've been using Apple, and the computer is not Apple, so it's like a totally different ball game. It's like I'm playing football here, and my computer's playing basketball. Like, well, you know what? I'm not really playing basketball. I'm playing football. You know what I mean? So that's why I don't really use my laptop. And you should be able to do it on the computer. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, computer is safer, Dodi. You could collect boxes of sealed cards as an investment, or would rather have binders. Um, I don't know. I don't know really nothing about that. I'm not a collector of that stuff. I'm a collector of knickknacks. I have, look, I have hats. I have a bunch of caps. I have a bunch of broken sunglasses. I have, little stupid stuff that I used, but then, I don't know. They just, mugs. I have a lot of mugs. I do. I have a lot of mugs. I had to stop collecting mugs because I have mugs from all over the United States with the names on them. I stopped collecting them because I started getting the same two different mugs from the same state. I'm thinking, well, okay, I don't need two Utah mugs. I don't need two Ohio mugs or, like, okay, so I just stopped because I lost track of the ones I had. Anyway, let me see, spiritual. Anyways, I'll be here if I'm not speaking. Don't worry, I'll be here. Well, thanks. Thanks, spiritual. Let me see, I'm 45, 40, yeah, minutes, and I'll be on for just another little bit. Um, I'm not talking spiritual stuff today. That's why I like to be spontaneous. Sometimes I talk about being the warrior of light. Sometimes I talk about truck driving. Sometimes I talk about coffee. Today it's I talked about spiritual day before yesterday, a little bit yesterday, and today, I'll just mention a few things. Wake up, because you have to purify yourself, clean all the back hatred, all the crap that don't hate, don't be prejudiced, don't be angry, don't be rude, you know, balance yourself. And if you stay balanced by the food you eat, by the people you hang around with, if you smoke, get rid of that little death stick. That's what they are, they're death sticks. Um, if you drink, stop your drinking, start purifying your life. That's all I'm going to say. You got to wake up because things are happening. In fact, before I got on, the Philippines and New Guinea, around that area, around Japan, they are getting massive earthquakes. Earthquakes around the west coast, all the way from Canada to Mexico, through the United States, through the Cascades, through the shores, the oceans and stuff. There's volcanoes and earthquakes happening. They call that the Ring of Fire. In China right now, just looking before I got on, it wasn't an earthquake. Yesterday I was watching the earthquake that happened in the Philippines. What, a magnitude 8.7 or something? Whoa, that's like rocking the house. That is like, Mother Gaia is just shaking things up. Well, in China, I was looking at the video, they got winds that are, it's like hurricane winds. And these winds, like I said, you guys seen the hurricanes that we get. It's hitting China right now. And, buildings everything is falling apart. We get them here too. We get earthquakes, we get tornadoes. We get snowstorms, heat waves. We get it all. But that doesn't mean that it's a normal thing, because right now they're intense, very, very strong. So that's why I say purify yourself, prepare yourself, because we are ascending. Okay, I gave that a little bit longer speech, but I had to give you guys some examples as to why. Okay, not just be good. I mean, I'm saying if you don't, then you're going to end up dying of sickness or something, or a gunshot wound or something like that. Who knows how? You're going to be born in the same thing. You're going to wake up and there's going to be crime. There's going to be sickness. There's going to be disease. There's going to be pollution. So if you purify yourself now that all this is coming from the sun, our sun, now is the time to purify yourself so that you don't do that again. So when we do leave our body from here, in other words, die, we go on into the fifth dimension and we don't got this anymore. That's what it's about, okay? And I want you guys to do it too. Anyway, yeah, I have to do, to change the subject there. That's all I'm going to say about the spiritual stuff. I always have to throw that in, okay? Sometimes I'll talk the entire thing. Sometimes I just add a little bit. But because some people don't like it, some people they love it, some people, I see my number count just all of a sudden drop down to zero, like all of a sudden nobody's listening, or sometimes it goes up. And later on, when I'm watching the videos, I'm sorry, the analytics, the analytics, um, sometimes I get, 50, sometimes I get 70, sometimes I get 150s. I'm like, okay, it's kind of spontaneous. I like being spontaneous. My subjects change just like the weather. um, Spiritual says this world doesn't need hatred. We would be way more advanced if we didn't have hatred. Exactly, exactly. And where does the hatred start? With you, right? So if everybody started thinking like you, then less people would hate. You know what I mean? So spread the love around. I also created a manifesto life based trading card game that I have uncut sheets for sale. It's more on the adult side though. Um, okay, yeah. Um, I'm a warrior of light, so I don't do no adult only stuff. Although with this, you gotta press adult only because otherwise, if you press for kids, the lives I'm talking about, then there's no comments. So like, oh, is that what it? Because I like my videos for kids too, but YouTube don't want that. I guess because it's more of a mature conversation. But that's why we end up getting some, screwballs and wackos in here. That's why you guys have wrenches. So that's why. Not to mention, seventh, you're in second place. Who's winning the race here? Seventh is in second place, and who's in first? He's so far ahead, we lost him. Ellen Isaiah is in first place, folks. Who's in third? Contador Hilton Princess is in third place. That's who's winning the race. That's who's winning the race. I don't understand the crowns. I call it a horse race. That's what it is. Whether it's a crown, whatever they put on it. I don't know what crowns mean neither, but I call it a horse race. And it was funny because I don't know if you know Dar. She's an old friend of mine. She's not old, but she's a longtime friend of mine. And there were some other people and they're going back and forth, first, second, third, and stuff. And she wasn't even in the race. She was like, like she was talking, but she wasn't first, second, or third. All of a sudden, towards the end of my video, she comes up and she gets first place. She won. She was laughing on that video too. Look, see, I beat everybody. But anyway, it just means whoever types the most. Really? I don't know. I don't know about that. Because I've seen other people, in fact, like you, Spiritual, I remember you were talking a lot and you couldn't even get in, remember? Like, you weren't even on the Richter scale, the Dodi scale. I don't know about you guys, but I make fresh ground coffee. Uh, I think I've told you it's biscochito. And this time, it wasn't Biscochito, because I have two different types. But, you know, I like drinking fresh ground coffee. It's more robust, I guess they would call it. Seven. The guy hasn't typed in 2 hours, YouTube. I don't even know if he's still on. You know, like, what is it, Contador? Yeah. Where is he? Well, Jeremy was in first. Jeremy Randall. He was in first. Isaiah was in first. And yeah, Isaiah went from third to first. See, so I don't think it's because whoever types the most. I don't think that. And YouTube is a crock. But one thing I like about this is, excuse me, talking talking to you guys. You guys make me happy. You guys, you warm my heart. And like, yeah, we're laughing about who knows what. I'm not. That's why I like to be spontaneous. Sometimes I'm going to talk about spiritual. Sometimes I'm going to talk about my dog, or sometimes I'm going to talk about, you know, and sometimes, say I'm talking about my truck, and someone comes in, they're not interested in trucks. I know I stopped watching so many truck channels because I don't want to hear about someone's problems with their truck or their trucking business or something, That, to me, that's boring. So that's why I thought I can't just do it about trucks. I can't just do it about a certain subject. I have to be like the way I work. Like this guy we were talking last night. His name is Steve. He was it him? I don't know. I don't know if it was him or this other guy. We were talking and about dedicated runs. That's going, okay, that's job security. You go from here to there and then you come back every single day. Like, I'm thinking to myself, that would drive me insane. Get up, get in the truck, and go from point A to point B, then from point B to back to point A, and then go home. That's it. That's it. They're like, no, I don't know. Like these FedEx drivers and, you see on the highway and stuff, that's what they do. They just go they'll drive from here 500 miles, right? Okay, say from Denver to Albuquerque, right? There's 500 miles. They just do that, and then they come back. They do that, they sleep in a hotel, and then come back, and they're home. Next day they go sleep in a hotel and come back. But at least they're home. They got a family. They got, okay, but what a boring job. Like, get a life. And with me, I go all over the country. I collect different mugs. I meet people I've never met before. I mean, every single day I meet somebody new. More than one person every single day. And that's how I am with this video too. I'm going to talk about stuff. If you look at some of my old videos, okay, you'll see a lot about, what is it, the Warrior of Light. I don't even know what I talk about, but sometimes I can't look at my videos because I'm like, what was I now? Stupid, thinking to myself, why am I talking about that? How ridiculous I sound. But you're looking at water under the bridge, you know what I mean? Like, why do I want to keep going back there when I can meet new people all the time? It's kind of like that dedicated run where you go to work, point A to point B, point A to point B, point A. Yeah, you know, it's like watching the same rerun all the time. And spiritual says you meet a lot of different people and get a lot of different uh, perspectives. Yeah, I do, and perspectives. Yeah. Anyway, that's what I do. That's what I like, you know. And like when they told me my dog was dying, even my brother, you know, because I would call them up and told them, you know, that she's almost dying and stuff. I was crying and everything. And he says, you know, don't feel bad because, you know, she's had a good life. She's not like other dogs where they just stay in a yard and, you know, they don't go anywhere but just in that yard and maybe to the walk to the park or to the pet store or something. That's it. Not me and Abigail. We've been all over. She grew up in the beach, in Huntington Beach, so she knows the sand, the waves. She didn't really like the water because she was afraid of it. And even now, she don't like it when it rains. When it rains and I take her out, she's like, you can see she's like, I'm not happy here. You can see it in her. It's so funny. But once she, once it's nice and sunny, she's like, her tail's wagging and everything. She's all happy. I took her a while back. I was in either New Jersey or New Hampshire or something, up there in the northeast somewhere. It was New Hampshire, that's where I was at. Or was it Maine? I don't know. I was up there in the northeast and sitting at the parking lot like I am now, except it's a truck stop. And I thought, come on, let's go for a walk. So we went and we were walking, and then it started raining. And to me, that was like so romantic, like, oh, wow, it's starting to rain on us and stuff. And at first she was all happy walking because it's all sunny. Then all of a sudden it's raining and she's wondering why I'm still walking because she's like, the more it rained, the more she got upset. And she's looking at me like, it was so funny. Abigail's been in a lot of states. That's a good life. Even some humans don't do that. I know. And yeah, like my sister, I took her on a trip with me one time. We went from Albuquerque to, we got a load going from Albuquerque to Portland, Oregon, and then up to Seattle, right? That was the load. And at first she's like, wow, wow, I'm going to learn to drive a truck and all this stuff. And I tell her, yeah, that way I'll help you get your CDL. You can take the test drive in this truck and everything. And, it was a different truck, though. It wasn't this one. But, I'll help you get it. And that way you got a job. Because her boyfriend or husband, he's lazy. He makes her do all the work while he sits home and gets stoned and complain why he doesn't have enough pot. That's the kind of guy he is. And, oh, we can't do it, it hurts. He's a big dude too. He's lazy. So I'm trying to help her out, right? And at first we're going, she's all excited and everything, and I'm teaching her about this and that. There's the book that you're going to need to know for the test and everything. I got all that for her. And so I noticed at first it's like she was excited to be in a truck going cross country. And going from Albuquerque, going through Utah and stuff, it's beautiful. You know, the Four Corners area, Four Corners meaning New Mexico, Colorado, Utah, and Arizona. It's all four states meet right there. You can put your foot on all four states. It's like a big old plaque, and they have it. I've been there. Anyway, we're going, and it's Southwest, beautiful, beautiful, stunning. You know, the kind they show in movies and stuff, John Wayne movies. And we're going through there, and like, okay, you know, all the oohs and ahs. But then once we got past Salt Lake, Salt Lake's big, and it's a big city. So you've never been there. Once we got that, it gets boring. Just hills, and you know, Idaho was just plain boring on that part. She started to get scared. She wanted to go home. And she got so scared that she got mad at me. That the fear just got in her, and it just like turned. She turned on me all of a sudden. And so I thought, okay, well, I'll just put you on a bus and send you back home, because I can't just turn the truck around and take you home. You know, it doesn't work like that. You know, so I told her, you wanted to come with me? I'm trying to teach you to get your CDL. If you don't want it, then that's fine. So she slept on it, and the next morning I was going to take her to the bus, and she decided that, like, okay, we'll go through with it. Well, sure enough, a lot of boring stuff for like a day. You go through Idaho, which is boring. Then you go through Oregon, which is boring, until you get to the western part of Oregon. Then it gets stunningly beautiful. And, you know, we came over this hill, and the sunset was there. There's the Olympia Lake River, and, you know, the trees and the mountains. And she's like, and I told her, see, that's what I'm talking about. This, you get to see everything in this. Just because you don't just get to see the good stuff. You get to see everything. And so anyway, that's what happened. And then I noticed she hadn't even opened the book to study. So then I thought basically she's just in for the ride. And hi, Kennedy, how are you doing? So anyway, that's what, you know, she ended up just, and then from there, from like Washington, Seattle, Washington, or actually it was Tacoma, Seattle, Washington, we came down I-5 all the way to San Diego, down I-5. And that's a pretty run, believe it or not. You know, going around the Oakland area, okay, it's not, you know, it's not that pretty, but once you get going through LA, the traffic, she had never been through there. And once you get into like past Southern California, Southern Los Angeles, because it's still city, but it starts to get really pretty, and you know, because you're by the beach and stuff like that. And she had never been, you know, my, when I'm getting back to, some people never leave. She had never done that, and I told her, you can do this as a job. You know, this would be your job, and you know, you get used to driving long distances. Once you get used to that, it's hard to stay in one area, to stay home. That's why a lot of truck drivers, you know, they quit and they can't take it anymore. They can't take being around their wife so much, or their husband. They can't take being like, no, I gotta go. You know, I gotta find me a job. I gotta hit the road. That's what happens, because driving just gets in you, and you know, becomes part of you. That's the way you are. Kind of like a bird. A free bird will fly all over free. And then you try to put that cage that bird up, that bird's going to say, like, I want out. I got to spread my wings. I want out. That's what it is. And a lot of people, when they get into driving, they don't like it. Like, again, my brother, he was in prison. He was in prison for like uh, 8 to 10 years, I don't know. He was in there for a long time. Finally, he got out. He used to be a truck driver too. But finally, he got out. And so, to help him out, I told him, you want to go pick up my Harley from North Dakota and, you know, take it to New Mexico. And, you know, I'll pay for everything. I'll pay for your fuel, I'll pay for the hotels and everything. I even bought him new tires and everything. You know, you got it. So he says, sure, you know, right on. Not to mention, you know, he had plenty of money in his pocket. I paid him for it. So he's going, and he went, picked up my Harley, came over here to Minnesota, because this is where I met up with him. And then he went back to New Mexico. But it's like he's driving. I told him, well, did you stop and check this place out and stop and check out Sturgis and stuff like that? Oh, no. You know, he was just holding onto that wheel, like going from here to there, and then from there to there, and then back home. Like he just wanted to go back home. And I thought to myself, that was strange. Like, you wanted to be free, you know, that's what you were caged up. Now you're free. You can go anywhere you want. Because he wasn't even on probation anymore or nothing. And, you know, you can spread your wings, go anywhere you want now. And nope, he just wanted to go back. Once he got home, he wanted to get back into that cage, is what he wanted, basically. The cage of the neighborhood, the cage of having his own little home, his own roof over his head, which he didn't even have that because he was living, you know, with family members and stuff. But I tried to get him to go out. That's what truck driving does. It'll get you go. And like Abigail, if I were to put her, you know, in a place where she's home, she would feel that. She would feel like, I need to get out, you know, like, how come we're not going anywhere? She would be like, but it'd be worse for her because she don't have no control, you know. She depends on me. And if it would be another driver, she'd be, okay, we're rolling, but where's Dodi? Where's my mom? You know, she'd be like, you know, she'd be looking for me. And she'd probably be trying to run away looking for me. But anyway, so yeah, we're together, you know. And seventh, I didn't want to do over the road because it ruins my opportunity of traveling and staying in places where I want to be. Well, you know, everybody's different. If you know, you say it ruins your opportunity. Actually, it doesn't. It just gives you challenges to do this or that. You know what I mean? In other words, let me put it this way, and this is what Archangel Michael told me. I'm not, and he sees it, I'm not how can I say it? It's hard for me to be with my siblings because we don't see eye to eye. You know, we just, you know, we don't agree on things. And, you know, I love them, but I don't like them. You know what I mean? And Archangel Michael told me, well, you know, when you're around people you love, and if you don't get along with them or they irritate you or something, think of it as a challenge of your patience. I started laughing. Yeah, I mean, I don't have no patience for them. And by that, meaning you got to work on your patience. You got to be more patient and, like, okay, but for right now, it's the best if I just stay away from them. Anyway, see, so I look at it as a positive way. I don't look at it as, you know, nothing's ruined. Nothing. When we get sick, when we lose a job, or when we, get hurt or divorced or whatever, the unfortunate things are a test. They're going to help us because they make us stronger. You've heard this before. If you go through easy streets all the time, first time you fall down, you're gonna be clinging to the first person that's willing to listen, and you're gonna be their dummy, and they're gonna take advantage of you. They're gonna like, oh, okay, now they're using you, and you don't even know it because you're a fool to them, and they're gonna be ripping you off and cheating on you, talking behind your back, and possibly hurting you or abusing you mentally or physically. And you know what? Uh, you know what? If you let them do that, they will do that. But if you go through a lot of stumbles in life, like, okay, yeah, I got a broken leg. I know not to climb trees anymore. Uh, yes, I got a divorce. I got my heart broken. I'm not going to just marry off anybody just because she looks good or he has a lot of money. Like, no, you got to use your brain to be smarter and tougher, and that's what I'm saying. Um, Spirit says, "Is everything? Is everyone asleep? It seems that only the mods are awake today." That's one thing. I'm not a members only kind of person. I am not that. I think when they put that members only, that, like, to me, this is just me, you don't have to think this. I think that's rude because, I've been listening to you. Let's just say, like, there's this one lady that I was listening to. I liked her and everything. And I liked the content she has, whatever channel it was, right? And I was getting information. Okay, sure. All of a sudden, she's going to have this grand video, and then, like, oh, good, and, but it's members only. Well, I guess that don't let me in because I'm not a member. And you would think, well, why ain't you a member? In order to be a member, you got to pay. Okay, I get it. But you know what? I got bills. And being a member isn't one of my priorities. I got bills that I got to buy medication for my dog. I got bills I got to eat. I got to, bills for my storage. I got bills that, for my own food and stuff. I don't always have extra money for memberships, right? Although when I do have extra money, I will go and something. I will, like Seventh, he doesn't want members, but he's offering something. Sure, I'll go and get it done. And it's not going to, I can't do it just like that. We got to work it out. Like, okay, so that you benefit and I benefit, not where I'm taking a risk, or what I mean by taking a risk is, okay, I'll become a member, but you know what? Uh, I'm gonna have to eat ramen noodles and ketchup for this week because I'm a member. That took $50 out, and that was my food money. You know what I mean? So like, that's why I thought I don't do members. If anybody wants to do members, that's fine by them. Members only. I don't do member stuff. Oh, I won't do that. And if you want to buy stuff that I sell, I'm not selling anything right now, but cool. And if you don't, cool. You're still welcome to my grand finale or whatever I got going. That's the way I see it. Anyway, yeah, it does seem like everybody's asleep today, huh? It's Sunday. I said I was going to go 15 minutes and I'm still talking. Like, you guys don't tell me to shut up yet, so I'll just keep on going. Seventh, if I wanted to stay in California for a few days, but then I have to leave. Oh, that's what you're talking about. Yeah, Pittsburgh. I don't want to go to Pittsburgh anymore. Let me put it that way. Not in this truck. That's a spaghetti highway like crazy with construction and this way and that way. I ended up in downtown on a Sunday because of construction crap. My GPS is going like who knows what the heck, and I'm carrying a uh, 46,000 pound coil steel that's chained onto my truck. That is easy to tip over or break off the chains. And here I'm climbing these hills, making these turns. Died. Sorry about that. I gotta go to that. Let me see. Seventh says, yeah, but that is rude. That just shows they don't care about their viewers and they want all they want is money. That's why I don't do members. I don't know, I hope you can hear me now because I have my truck running for my battery. But okay, I don't want it to turn off, so I'm going to read these real fast and then I gotta go. Seventh says, but sometimes they use those filters to keep out the trolls. Okay, I didn't know that. And hi everyone, welcome to the live stream. It's kind of late for that, I'm leaving Spiritual. And then Spiritual says, hi guys, Dodi most likely is having technical difficulties. It may take a second to fix it. Like always, yep. And it's called the dead battery. And let me see. Missed what you said. Oh, I'm sorry. You'll have to rewind it. And then Spiritual. Hi, that is. Oh, Dodi, it's better. Okay, good. It's fixed. But okay, anyway. See, I had to put my thingy away. So that, and my truck is running. And because my battery is charging the phone thingy, So anyway, my battery's almost dead, so I'm just gonna call it quits. You guys didn't tell me to shut up. The phone told me to shut up. So anyway, all right. Bye, Dodi. See you later and have a great day. Thanks for coming in, Spiritual. You're awesome. Thanks for Seventh. I'm gonna keep going to your site, Seventh, and we gotta make contact somehow through email or something. And that way, if we can get each other's email, we can, because that's more private through the email, we can make, I can do what I got to do with the cards and stuff, okay? And by the way, seventh one, yay! We'll see you later. Bye-bye.